Hey everybody, welcome to Arch's Garage, and today in the garage we're going to be working on a 6 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine on the bench. I'm going to take it over the bench and we're going to kind of go through the whole thing, and I'm going to kind of get this thing to wake up and make it ready for a machine. So where does the motor come from? Well, again, it's a Briggs & Stratton 6 horsepower engine. It looks a lot like a Lawn Mower Engine, but it's actually coming off of a chipper, shredder, lawn leaf vac from Craftsman built. So these motors are a little bit different. They have a taper shaft on them, so they're not going to just go. You could bolt it on a lawnmower frame. It's the same bolt pattern, but it uses an impeller underneath, and we're going to rip it off the machine that it was on because it's all rusty. Because of that crankshaft, you can't use it on a lawnmower. So it's a good extra engine to have around in case something goes wrong with you know, a machine I'm working on. But in this case, because I went through about 5, 6, I don't know, 7 of these things, and I had at least 4 for sale, and some of them sold already, I wound up with a lot of extra parts. I took the best of everything, and I wound up with the rest. And we're going to go out in the yard and see if this engine works, see what parts we have, can we make another machine. So that might be a second video, or a video as part of maybe the extension to this video another time. But in this one, we got to start off with a good working motor. So let's go do that. Let's go grab the motor, test it up in the yard, see if it runs at all, evaluate it, then we'll bring it up on the bench, and you know, we got to get it off the machine, get it up on the bench, and go through it. All right, pull the plug real quick. It's like mint. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put some 2-stroke fuel in the hole, and a little bit in the carburetor, and then a little bit of jump start. Let's see if it does anything, because it might have water in here, and with the 2-stroke it'll give it a little bit of lubricant. Just finger tight, that's all. Get a little bit in here. Choke's closed. Choke looks like it's jammed. Might be what's wrong with it. Almost. Extra helping hand, because it could be wet inside. It wants to do something. Let's see. She could be a little wet in there. Not really seeing anything. I need some more 2-stroke. You know, the ignition's wet. It's been out in the rain. We have oil in it? Yeah, we got oil in it. She's running all right. There's peanuts in there and half eaten. You know, the thing is the problem is this, okay? Taking the motor off is really hard, but it might be the best way. This time I'm gonna put a little lubricant on all of that. I'll try to put it over an area with the fins, and probably doing it backwards. There we go. Okay. Yep. She seems like she's loose. Yep. We'll get it outside, and I'll start cleaning it. Like, I'll spray it, and then I'll go to lunch. All right, we can throw this out. Throw all that out. There's nothing left on here that we need. And like I said, we'll come back in a little bit. After lunch, I'll clean up. Get this thing all nice and clean. Pop a plug in it. Bring it outside, spray it down. Go over there every now and then, spray it while I'm eating and cleaning up, and we'll get this thing nice and purdied up. I gotta rinse it. And then we'll put a little more product on. Put the foamy on. I'm just going to clean that out with a wire wheel. Maybe a little Scotch-Brite and some lubricant. Same thing here. Or a little crocus cloth. Get that clean. We're going to pull the... We could pull the muffler, but I certainly want to take this off. I have another muffler. So maybe we'll put a better muffler on it. Maybe even paint it. We got to pull the carburetor. We got to pull the ignition, right? So I'm going to get started on that. I think I'll do, you know, while I'm waiting for the primer to dry and everything. And we can even use, this makes a neat little stand. I saved an extra one, but because it's, you got to be careful though, because it'll get stuck in there. All right, but that makes a neat little stand, right? Maybe I'll keep one of the other ones, and we'll make like a nice stand for just to pop things in for working on a motor on the bench. That's kind of neat. It's heavy. It's aluminum. It's easy to work with. We could drill it. We could, you know, yay! Oh, that's perfect. We don't need a lot, so I'm just going to give it a quick polish. Okay, we'll go down. Review. Look at that chef's mint. Yeah, so we'll pull this off, and the carburetor off. Oh, this piece is broken, but we have another one. Put that in the garbage pile. And we'll just knock these back. Actually, the other muffler from the other machine, the other motor, was probably okay. Which is outside now in the cold. I could always bust the muffler back off, which I might do. We'll see. So we can clean in here a little bit. I pulled this guy off. This guy. I got another one of these because this one's messed up. I've already cleaned some gas tanks. Either way, we'll find out in a minute what this carburetor's doing. We'll clean up the ignition. We're just going to give it the whole, you know, a really good once over. I think I might have another one of these. If not, we'll clean that one up. Actually, I enjoy doing bench work on these motors, right, rather than on the machine. But sometimes it's just not practical to take them off. Briggs motors on lawn mowers that get rusty, these bolts break. All it takes is one, and the motor's no good. What are you going to do? I've tried drilling and everything. It's not worth it. Let's try to get a collection of motors together. Okay, so we got the carb. Let's move this off the table. We're going to crack the carb. Got water in it, but that's to be expected. With all the washing, oh, it's in beautiful shape, guys. It's just got water. I'm going to do my thing. So I'm not going to make it a carb rebuild video, but this one's nice. So I'm going to go do my thing. Between the air compressor and the heat, right? Can't help it, it's going to get noisy. I'm just going to use a little solvent, kind of loosen up everything here, and then I'll give it a rinse in the degreaser tank. It's just mint. It's beautiful. It's a heavy one. It's an older style, heavy. They're special though. They got the manual choke, right? Which I'm going to replace that. I got another manual choke. We'll see in a minute. All right, let's just do a check. I'm definitely going to get one of these out of the yard and clean it up tomorrow if it's nice out. It is really cold and nasty and rainy, so no point today. Let's just check these. Oh yeah. Yeah, it needs to be tightened. My brother's blew out, right? Well, maybe. We're not sure. He hasn't done anything yet with it. But he ran it for a very short period of time, and I had tightened it. Oh, yeah, that was loose. Don't bother torquing these, because in order to torque them, you need... They're like a little over 200 inch-pounds, but you're going to need to take the bolts out and chase the threads and clean everything, and at that point you might as well put a new gasket in and then, you know, chase all the threads out, clean all the gasket surfaces. But be careful, right? Because a lot of times on these Briggs motors, right, hear that? That's crunchy. These bolts break, especially on the lawn mowers. They break and then you're done, right? Especially on one of these machines. And I had said that I didn't really ever want to take one of these machines apart, but what I did was I took all of them apart, and I saved the motors, the two motors that I think might be salvageable. And just in case he screws up his motor, I'll have to take everything apart. Now, another thing we want to do to tighten up, these intake tubes, they almost always loosen up. Watch. See? Loose. And that'll make you think you got, oh, that was really loose. That'll make you think you got something wrong with your carb. Is this not fitting right? There it goes. So just hand tighten them. And this, I think maybe while we're here, we'll just pull this off, clean it on the wire wheel. We'll clean this, and we'll put it back to 10 thousandths, you know, while I'm here. So since I have it, I think, like I said, I think this was the one, yeah, we took, it wasn't, it was grounding out full time. So we're going to deal with that as well. And then we'll put the carb back, and we'll put the muffler back. So cylinder side, it says. Well, I want to check that too while I'm here with the ohmmeter. I'm loving this thing. You know, simple things make me happy, right? I'm a simple guy. I'll read it out to you. Check out my video. I don't know if I'll be releasing it before or after this, but check out my video. I got one video out there already on how to use an ohmmeter, and I tested a whole bunch of different things and cleaning coils or whatever. I got that as well. But I'm coming out with a new video, and I went over 100. I went over 100 of these coils from different manufacturers. I broke them, breaking the video up into sections. Okay, 4.56k ohm. That's 1,000 ohms. That's good, okay? And now we want to check. So we're going from the secondary, right, ignition lead, and we want to check from the ground to the kill wire. And I'll yell that out to you. 12.5. That's perfect. So this guy's worthy. Let me check this one too, because this guy was over here. This is a little bit dirty in there, so we're gonna put some white grease in that. Clean it out. I have another one out. 4.5k. That's fine. 12.3. Right on the money. Do I have another one out? All right, I'll be back. Hey, don't forget to do these guys, because we want a good connection, a good ground. I got this guy all cleaned up good. Because we certainly here too, because here it's more for getting a good measurement, 10 thousandths, you know, good gap. But the other area is more for making sure that you, what the hell was I saying? Yeah, these areas here, good ground, and this area is just a good gap. Any break on it, any like break that rolls on it, so because the brake keeps everything clean. I finally fixed this leaking. I gotta get to fixing all my leaky hoses. This one had just, you know, you just kind of push it in, it's got the hose barb. And it didn't really need any kind of clamp, so I just put one of these on, which is better than like the regular hose clamps, because they just kind of bite your hands. All right, let's get this set up. I think what I'll do next is maybe I'll spray a little cleaner on all of this and just wipe this down a little bit more. All right, so I took off the one that was kind of beat. It's not terrible, but it's just missing things and it's a little bit bent. So, hey, listen, we have something better. And it's just easy to do this now. So what we gotta do is just shove that in there. All right, pull this around. And this comes up this way, like so, like that. That's why I wanted to do it now, because I can see the wiring and the direction everything goes in. So you make sure you put the pads on. I get, you know, there's these pads, they're like these. They're like insulator pads. So why they use them, is it because it doesn't ground? They don't want it to ground. They want it grounded a certain way. I don't know. Just put the pads back. I don't want to think about it right now. I don't care either right now. All right, that's on. So we got a choke, and this feels okay. All right, we got to mount this. Something doesn't seem right. Move you up, and that should work. The throttle. Okay, this guy. This guy's got to come back down. I'm guessing it comes back down around underneath here, right? Because it's got to connect over. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. You know, I don't remember. That should work. And then these guys here, let's put a little oil on these threads. We always want some oil on them. I always seem to have a container of used motor oil out because I'm always doing oil changes. So let's connect this guy. All right. We're just going to kind of hand finger tight. Pull the magneto back, or they call it magnetron. Briggs calls it a magnetron. Just finger tight, and then bring the magnets back. Drop in your 10,000ths. Loosen it till the magnets pull in. Pull your armature in, and then retighten. Now you want to get these good and tight, but you don't want to strip them. So you can do it by hand, but I like to put a little extra oomph because you're compressing these wafers, right? So you got to give those wafers a minute to really compress. It'll loosen back up. And so I use a stubby. There you go. I kind of feel it. Easy. So now we got our gasket here, our O-ring. Just clean that off. It's got schmutz all over it. And usually what I do is I turn them around the other way whenever I do this. So you can usually see which side's been flattened. So I just, get them nice and clean. Turn around the other way. Okay, if you want, you can put a little of your two-stroke, or I've got the tranny fluid mix. Let's put this guy on. Wow, it's so much more fun doing this on the bench. This is the best. Get that choke in there like that. Put the bolt back in. We got choke action. Let's put a little bit of oil in here. Just a touch. I like to use chain wax on those things, but we'll start off with a little bit of oil just to get things going. Make sure that's not too loose. That's good. Now that's off. Looks like it's making properly and releasing.
A few moments later.
This is the right muffler. It's a nice one too because it's got a flange. This is how it seals, this flange. The flat ones have a removable flange and therefore automatic choke. So this is for a manual choke, so you need this guy. That's good. All right, we've got to just bend the tangs over. And usually, with them up a little bit, I usually just grab a pair of pliers if they're up enough. If not, there you go. And if it's not up enough, that's the best way to do it, I find. Just drive them up a little. Done. Put this stuff away. Oh, we're getting there, bros. Get it! All right, I'll be right back. I gotta get some more stuff. All right, so now to freshen it up, we're gonna use some of our chain wax. In the hole it goes. Oh, I gotta get that blob off. And then there's this pocket right here where the hook of the spring goes. We're gonna get that in there. It's nice because it's like a wax. Well, it is a wax. So it's gonna go in like a penetrant and then wax up. Pull it all the way through, all the rope. All the way to the end. That's it. And then just give it a quick wipe. All right, I previously cleaned out a couple of tanks, blew them out, rinsed them out. Hose is okay. So even if they have just a drop of water in them, it should be fine. They've been hanging up for a few days. Let's get the hose on. I sprayed the motor. I'm getting excited. All right? Not like that, guys. You guys are gross. Yeah, they. So that's tight. That's tight. Now we can put this guy, which we previously cleaned. The gasket's on the carburetor. It's in good shape. Done. Bench built. Looks good. All right, everything's on there. All right, we're done. We just need some oil in it. And we're not going to put the oil or the gas in yet because we're going to be tossing this thing around. So just leave it be. All right, we got a good choke thing on here. All right, we did that before. We have a label here. I picked one of the ones with the label. We won't put the gas cap on yet because we're going to leave it open a little bit longer in case there's any more water in there. And then we got the pigtail ready to go. The top will go on over here. And we're ready to go for tomorrow, guys. So I'm going to sign out on this one. I'm going to straighten up a little bit. And I will see you guys soon. Lest we forget,